Hi, it's Tom. I want to talk about persistence. When you finally realize what's going on truly with this new reality, I guess you can call it, that you end up in, it's like waking up out of the matrix or something like that. It takes some adjustment. And even if you've been familiar with it for some time, you still find yourself getting pulled back in, you know? It's like it reminds me of the one of the Godfather movies where Al Pacino as Michael Corleone says, he's trying to get out of the mafia and he's trying to like go legit and something always he goes, just when I think I'm out, they're trying to pull me back in, something like that, paraphrasing it. But it can be like that at times where you're reacting to your 3D reality and people in it, and intellectually that you're creating this whole thing, that the other people in your reality are actually, they're playing roles, they're reflecting back to you your own thoughts and feelings and assumptions about reality, but you still, you get triggered. You've had a lifetime of reacting to other people and to situations in your 3D reality. And it's awful hard to just turn that off. So I'm over here to say just persist. And if you fall off the wagon, climb right back on. It's no big deal. Don't beat yourself up over it. A lot of people, they tend to overanalyze, especially today with all the information we have at our fingertips with, computers, the internet, etc. Um, you're constantly googling things, you're constantly looking up websites and going to forums and reading what other people write and asking questions and reading answers to all these questions and everybody's opinion, and you get inundated with all this information. You end up second guessing everything, right? All you really need, now I'm not saying all that stuff is completely useless, but all you really need is the Neville Goddard principles. Fall back on that. And again, this isn't a religion. Nobody's trying to recruit you into anything. It's a belief system, but it's not a religion. It's not a cult. It's nothing like that. There's no church. There's no dues. There's no tithing. There's nothing. There's no head up there asking for money. It's nothing like that. We all know this. So just climb back on if you fall off. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't go down what I like to call the rabbit hole of self-doubt and or self-flagellation or whatever. It's not going to do you any good. It's just going to make it harder to attain what you want out of this reality. So um, I'm basically here to say persist. Just persist, simply. Clear your mind. This is supposed to be a no stress, no worry, you know, thought process, philosophy, belief system, call it what you will. But, you know, try to ground yourself. And look, it happens to me. I get triggered by things in my 3D all the time. I'm not getting up here saying I'm perfect. Far from it, you know? But I know that this philosophy works because I've seen it in my own life. I have a completely different life now than what I had just 12 years ago. I'm not going to go through all the changes, but there was a lot of bridge of incidences that brought me from there to there. And the only thing that makes sense is this. The only thing. And there's other sub stories in there, subtopics in there along the way as well. But the big story, the change in my life, and I'm not saying that my life is perfect, right? If you want to judge it, it's still not perfect. There's always, I guess you could call, room for improvement. But if you know where I was 12 years ago, it's a big improvement to where I was. So I know this works, and I know that persistence pays off. Persistence pays off, and that's why when I have a goal in my mind now of where I want to be in my 3D future, and honestly, the whole the whole future past thing is kind of irrelevant because, as Neville says, creation is finished, right? Creation is finished. You're stepping into your new reality, which already exists because time is an illusion, right? But if you want to refer to it in everyday speak, the future that I want to bring into my 3D, I'm loyal to that. I'm going to persist in that feeling, right? That feeling. Because you need to feel the wish fulfilled in order to step into it, in order to experience it in your 3D. So, just persist, be stubborn. Don't accept what you don't want or something less than what you want. You just have to envision this stuff. Now, there's all these things about, let's see, there's talking about planting your seed and letting it go. And so that is something that you have to, I guess, listen up on or read up on because, Neville says that you need to let go at some point. Because if you hold on to your seed, it'll never grow. Like holding on to the seed of a plant. If you don't drop it in the soil and let it grow, it can't grow, right? And by constantly keeping this thing in your head, you're not allowing it to germinate, right? So at some point, you should feel somewhat satisfied that you envisioned it well enough and to let it go and to not keep thinking about it. Don't keep looking for results and signs. People are constantly, I see it online all the time. What are the signs, in the videos too? The titles suck you in. Well, these are the signs that your thing is coming. You're just short circuiting yourself and making it longer by falling for any of that stuff, right? Don't look for signs. Don't. Be satisfied knowing that that God, we're going to refer to your inner God being as God, heard you, heard your prayer, is in the process of making it happen, and be satisfied and grateful in that. Now you can always revise. Sometimes your desires change over time. You may decide, oh well, I wanted that a month or two ago, and now I kind of want it different. Well, then just envision the new thing, but let that go as well. Don't obsess over it. And you can envision more than one thing. Like say you there's an item that you want, say a consumer item. You can envision that coming to you, being in your reality, using it, enjoying it, whatever it is. But you may have other desires for your overall life path or your SP or whatever. Those are different. Those are just different visualizations, different, you know. So just deal with them separately. Of course, you can massively envision all this stuff in one and let it go, but you get these things that come along. New desires happen all the time, so just take them one at a time. But don't stress over it, and don't because stressing over it's not going to help. It's not going to help. And if things don't go according to plan, or you feel like you got the opposite of what you envisioned, just climb back on and persist. That's all you can really do. Persist. Be stubborn. And just stay loyal to that wish fulfilled, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And eventually it should happen. Go back and read Neville's books. They're free. They're on the internet. Or you can get them on Amazon really cheap into like a Kindle or a Kindle reader. They have a free Kindle reader that goes right on your phone that you can read, Kindle titles. You can buy them on Amazon, have them sent to your device, and boom, they're there with you all the time. That's what I do for the books. And then there's all the videos and the lectures online on YouTube. They're everywhere you look. I have a bunch in my account. I would appreciate a like and subscribe and go into my account and check out the Neville lectures. And some thumbs up on that stuff. I'd really appreciate if you can do that for me. But this stuff is out there and it's free. That's the beautiful thing about Neville. It's public domain. It's public domain. His family left it public domain, and it's out there for everyone. So again, just to circle back, my message here is persist. If you feel like you got triggered, you fell off, don't feel like a failure. Don't stress over it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just, refocus, climb back on that wagon that you feel you fell off of, and continue on. And just stay loyal to that feeling of your desire, your wish fulfilled. It's really as simple as that. People make it complicated with all these things, but a lot of times, let me tell you, a lot of times the less importance you assign to this stuff, it can happen quicker. I remember things happening in my life that I almost just gave a stray thought to, and literally the next day they're happening. And also, the negative stuff too. It could happen either way, right? God delivers either way, right? Doesn't discriminate, positive or negative. You may want something, you may not want something, but if you envision what you don't want, it's just as likely to manifest. And I've had that stuff too, where you may constantly get this thought over and over, and you're, I guess, mini obsessing over it. And boom, surprise. Well, it shouldn't be a surprise that it happened, right? So don't think about that stuff. As Neville Goddard says, he says, stop it. When you feel yourself thinking the negative stuff, just stop it right there. It's like he calls it a mental miscarriage. Just stop that. And then that's the mental diet that we talk about, that whole control what you feed your mind, your subconscious. That's being careful about your mental diet and sticking to the stuff that you do want, the positive, what you want to experience. It's the same thing with arguing with people in your head and all that. It's just not going to do any good. We all do it. So then just stop it when you realize you're doing it and do the opposite. Think about that person in the opposite light, the positive light, instead of what you wanted. Even I know it can be mentally gratifying to sit there and tell people off in your head. What is it accomplishing? You're going to have a fight with them later. Do you really want that? No. So just stop it, as Neville says, and feed it the positive, what you do want to happen. It's really, it's one or the other. Which are you going to pick, positive or negative? I try to pick the positive. And if I give into the negative and it happens, oh well, time to just, stop it when you realize it, when you've had enough, and change that mental diet and head off in the positive direction. But you need to persist and stop looking for signs and all of that stuff. So anyway, I'm over here. This is kind of like these little pep talks to keep you on the straight and narrow. Basically, that's what it is. And to provide like grounding and stability for this stuff, so that you can train yourself and get into that positive creation mode, right? Intentional creation, as we call it. So anyway, please check out my other videos. Please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And like and subscribe. Like my other videos. Please subscribe once. Maybe hit the little bell for when I upload new stuff. And let's be on this journey together.